Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about Teaching Strategies Gold, and this is important because this is what your special project is all about. So for your special project, you are going to be completing that child assessment portfolio, 50% of it at least, for one child in your class. So you should get started on this soon because it's due in a couple of weeks, and I want you to learn a little bit about TS Gold beforehand by watching this video. Okay, so as we know, as we've been learning throughout the quarter, that ongoing child assessment is really important. And we know that some characteristics of ongoing child assessment are that it should be embedded in your curriculum and based in observation. So you want to make sure that you're doing this consistently. You want to be systematic about it. And so all the different things that we've been learning this quarter are different systems for assessing children. We also want it to be play-based, authentic, and naturalistic. So that means that you want to make sure that children are doing the things that they would naturally be doing when you're doing your observation. And we also want to make sure that it's developmentally appropriate. Okay, so why are we using TS Gold in this class? Well, TS Gold is useful because it helps teachers really see a bigger picture of progress over time. So as you've noticed, as you've opened up some of your pages of the TS Gold Child Assessment Portfolio, you notice that there are entries based on colors that go across a child's development. And so it really tracks progress over time. In TS Gold, you can also use your observation assessment data to inform your planning and instruction. Now, this is implicit because we've been talking about it in our classes, or in our class thus far, but this is also really explicit when it comes to the TS Gold brand because they also have curriculum that goes along with their brand. TS Gold is also really well set up to communicate this data with families. And so as it is now, in your practicum now, you may or may not choose to communicate this information with families. But when you are formally using TS Gold in your practice, officially for all the children in your care, you will be expected to communicate that information with families. Also, as we've been learning throughout the quarter, ongoing assessment just helps us to identify children who might need extra support. Okay, so in the TS Gold system, there are 38 separate objectives for development and learning. And the objectives focus on 4 developmental domains. So these are socio-emotional or social-emotional, physical development, language development, and cognitive development. Now it also focuses on 5 general content areas, and that's literacy, mathematics, science and technology, social studies, and the arts. And so these developmental domains and content areas are kind of like your broad overreaching categories of development and learning. Now from there, there's kind of a hierarchy. And so you may have noticed this as you paged through the TS Gold Child Assessment Portfolio throughout the quarter. And so here you have, take a look at the left side and look at the hierarchy. So the top thing on the hierarchy is the area of development and learning. So that's a typo there, it should say area. The area of development and learning is either social, emotional, physical, language, cognitive, literacy, math, science, technology, social studies, or the arts. So that's your area of development and learning. Then you go down to the objective. So now might be a nice time, if you haven't already, to pause the video and grab that child assessment portfolio so you can kind of follow along and see what the pages look like as I'm describing this hierarchy to you. I'll wait. Okay, you're back. All right, so the objective goes underneath the hierarchy, and so those are the numbers. And then the dimensions are the letters. And then you have also indicators. So that's the bold text under each even numbered rating. And then there's an example. So an example of an area of development and learning might be social emotional. And an example of the objective might be the first one, regulates own emotions and behaviors. And then you've got dimensions within that. And so a dimension might be A, manages feelings. And then there are some indicators of that. So an indicator might be uses adult support to calm self. And so an example might be calming oneself when touched gently, patted, massaged, or rocked. So that's kind of how the hierarchy of the TS Gold system works. Now let's look at what those colored bands mean. So I'm sure as you've been looking at it, you've kind of noticed what the pages look like. So the different ages correspond to progressions of development and learning. And so it starts with red in birth through the first year and goes all the way through kindergarten, which is purple. And that's how the color coding works for your developmental progressions. And so I just want to throw this in here, the assessment cycle. So you guys have seen this in your textbook already. So this is familiar to you from your readings. But remember that TS Gold is really an important part of this assessment cycle. So when you're observing and collecting facts, analyzing and then responding, evaluating a child's development, and then summarizing, using those notes to plan and communicate, all of that stuff is supported with TS Gold. So now I just want to show you a couple of examples. So this one might look a little bit different than your child assessment portfolio because this is one that's from online, but the idea is still the same. So here you have an area called social and emotional, and you're in objective 1, regulates own emotions and behaviors, and then you're looking at manages feelings. So you see your indicators in bold, and then you see your examples. Calms self when touched gently, turns away when source of stimulation. These are the kinds of things you're going to do when you report through your observations of the child that you're completing the portfolio with. Here's another example, and these ones you might want to pause the video. Hopefully the quality comes through. I think this one's quality might be a little bit less, but this looks a little bit more like what you see in your book. So here's looking at objective 10, uses appropriate conversational and other communication tools under language. And A is engages in conversations, and then you can see your bold indicators in there. Engages in, so I'm going to just read the first one. Engages in simple back and forth exchanges with others. And the bullets are, coos at adult who says, oh, sweet, Jeremy is talking. He coos again, and the adult imitates the sounds. Shakes head for no, waves bye-bye. Joins in games such as Pat-a-Cake and Peekaboo. So those are kind of examples of what you might report when you're reporting on the child that you're observing. So this is how you're going to do things when you fill out a child assessment portfolio for the child that you are doing this special project on. So that's all I have for you today. Please check at the specific instructions for the special project to get more details on how the special project works. But for your child assessment portfolio TS Gold pages, this is how it goes. So of course, as usual, let me know if you have any questions. Email me, give me a call, stop by my office hours. I'm happy to discuss this with you guys. Have a great day.